Hello everyone, welcome to day 7. Is it day 7 of 7 days? A full week of NaNoWriMo. So today it's like already 7:30 p.m. right now. Haven't written today and I don't know if I will. I might, but listen, you know what happened today is that Iron Flame was released and I am nothing if not a basic book talk girly. And I listened to the first one on audio, and so right when I woke up because I had pre-ordered the audiobook, so then I just started listening and I don't know, probably like a third, maybe a half of the way through. I was volunteering this evening and just kind of had a full day of work, so I just never really got around to any writing today, and that's okay. It's okay, we can take a day off. I thought instead of doing like a typical vlog, I'm just gonna do something a little bit different today and talk about balance, which I know is like such a buzzword. Balance, work-life balance, writing balance. We love to balance. And I think for good reason, because it's very damaging when we get out of balance with things. But I just wanted to talk about how I transition from working to writing, because I think when I do that transition of my day really well, it sets me up for such a great writing session. And when I don't, I feel myself still stuck in this like busyness of work, or stuck in like just the wrong mindset. And so I thought I would just share a couple of things that I do. I mean, pretty much all the time, but I think specifically in NaNoWriMo, I've been really intentional about doing it. Some of the days I just scroll at Instagram for an hour and then it just ruins my whole life. But I work in office, so I don't work from home most of the time. So on my way home, I either like to separate out the workday from the evening by like going to the gym right after work. So like not even going home between like going to the gym and then coming back. The gym is just such a good time for me to process subconsciously, because you're focused on doing like, okay, 7 reps of this and blah, 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 you know, like you're focused on something, but it's not so like mentally tasky. It's not so mentally like how writing is or work is, where you're like thinking through a lot of things. It's like more of the physical work rather than the mental work, and that can kind of help transition from work to evening. But if I don't do that, on my way home from work, will be intentional about what I listen to. Sometimes if I feel like my brain is like really busy, I will drive home in silence. Weird. Or I'll like get my Diet Coke playlist, which is my pump it up, get it going playlist. It's like an hour later now, my camera died, and then I started listening again, and here we are. What the 3 things have in common though, I think, is that they're all active in a way that's not your mind. So like when I'm jamming out to music, like sure, I'm being active maybe like emotionally, is that the right word? Where you're like getting into it, having a good time, but not like thinking through things, you know? And I'll often also, when I get home, like cook dinner, which, I mean, that's just because I gotta eat, you know, but also sometimes I'll do that while just listening to music or listening to an audiobook or something, to kind of reset my mind, like fully think about something different that's not like relevant to anything, to help transition. I also like to do 10-minute cleaning spurts, where before I used to be better about this, and I'm actually trying to get back to it. When I get home from work, I'll do a 10-minute cleaning and then move on to my next activity. Like when I'm done editing for the day and I'm gonna transition to going to bed, like I'll do a 10-minute clean between, and that kind of signals to my mind like, okay, we're shifting to something else. And depending on like how busy my mind is, I will maybe do that 10-minute cleaning with like just soft music, or maybe I'll watch a YouTube video. Like it just kind of depends on where I'm at. So that's something else that's helped, but also like changing my outfit into like sort of a writing uniform. The other thing I do is creating a ritual. There's a lot of writers who talk about this. Abby Emmons is the one that comes to my mind, but I think like everybody and their brother-in-law talks about that, about creating things to signal to yourself that you're writing, and so doing things that you only do during that time. And so a lot of people talk about lighting a certain candle, or wearing a certain outfit, or listening to a certain playlist. And I do all those things, and not the outfit so much. I mean, sort of. I just kind of wear whatever though. like maybe doing your skincare for the evening before you write and have that be like a signal to yourself. For me, making a coffee in the morning has become that signal for me too. Like the very specific like protein coffee that I have while I write, you know, or I've been going on my walking pad a lot and that just kind of helps. I'd say generally just like pairing movement with creativity is also really, really good. Even if it's just like stretching or walking or something very simple. Because it just like physically gets you to be more creative, like scientifically, physically just does. But I think generally with balance, I think it's also about like listening to yourself, which I kind of despise when people say that actually. So I don't know why I'm saying that, because I often feel tired when I start writing, and it's some of the best writing sessions that I've had. Or sometimes I'll be really tired or like sad or exhausted, or these are all just words for tired. Like maybe my mind's really busy or I'm thinking about other things or I'm sore and I'll still have a really good writing session. So I don't say listen to your body to mean like don't write unless you feel to your optimal health and level, because that's just not really realistic. What I will say is what's really helped me is establishing a routine and then being consistent enough in that routine to be able to tell when I need a break, you know? This is what I've learned with like really any health habit that's similar to writing. Like when I started going to the gym or when I started like not eating so much fast food and like just eating better, it sucks to start doing it. And it's so easy to make excuses all the time. Be like, well, I had a hard day at work, so I'll get McDonald's. Or, oh, like I'm really sore from the workout I did 2 days ago. I'll not go to the gym, right? Both of those things, those examples that I gave, can be valid in certain situations. It's not that that can never be the case. It's about making those times the exception rather than the rule. I don't know if I'm making a lot of sense, but how this kind of translates to writing is my baseline is that I'm writing. And then I can make exceptions to that if I need it. Like today, I was like, okay, not getting home until like 7:30. This book just came out that I want to read. I also slept in a little bit later this morning because I was just feeling very tired. There's a video I need to edit for today. That's actually not this video, but also this video needs to be edited today also. Okay, so because of all of that, at a rational point, multiple times during the day, at different points in my hormone cycle, at different points in my life, my day, whatever, I just decided like, okay, today's not going to be a day where I write. I think the worry comes for me when it's the opposite, when the baseline is not writing and then I make an exception to write. Like, oh, I just never write, but I feel really creative today, so I'm going to write today. You know, and so when I feel that balance shifting where the baseline starts to become not writing, that's when I start to get concerned. So like a consistent habit and schedule, like there's a time where I write every day, just like there's a time where I brush my teeth every day, just like there's a time where I eat dinner for the day, you know? But I'm not afraid to make exceptions about that, just like I would not be afraid to make exceptions about like, oh, well, today I can eat later, or today I can go out, or today, you know? But having that consistent routine to fall back on, that's where I really see progress. That's where I really see being able to get word counts like this without burning out. Because I think when you do something that feels like, oh my gosh, I'm writing today, like I did such a good job, like blah, 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 blah. Yes, you did, and good job. But also, then it can feel like it's so much more effort that you've put in. And so then when you do that more consistently, your body's like, why are we doing this thing that's like all the time? I thought we were just going to do that once. Whereas when you make it a part of your daily life, and I know that this is not a reality for everyone and that this is not a possibility for everyone, but I'd encourage you to really take a look at your schedule and see if it is. And I know like that I am in a very particular stage of life right now where I'm not married, I don't have any kids, I have a job, yes, but I also, my schedule is not tied to a lot of different people. I really do have agency over my time, and that's something that like I do not take for granted because I know that that is really not the situation for very many people at all. But I also know that I've been in stages of my life where didn't have so much reign over my free time, and it still was helpful to make some sort of consistent writing routine. So wherever you're at, however many hours you're working, that would be my encouragement from my perspective, balancing with work or maybe school or with family or whatever it may be with writing, is have writing be the baseline. Even if it's 10 minutes, sometimes nanos are 1 in 10 minute spurts. I stole that from Sarah Cannon. She said that a couple years ago, and that has really stuck with me, is that sometimes books are written in 10 minutes every day. Whenever I do videos like this, I'm like, did that make any sense? I feel like I just rambled. It's now like 9:30 though, and I'm just quick edit this video, and I am listening to that book still. It's like 30 hours long of an audiobook. Like, Rebecca, was that necessary? Was it necessary for you to do that? Because I'm listening on like 1.7x speed, and I still have 10 hours left at that speed. So I'm obviously not gonna finish it tonight, but like the tea is piping hot. She's making some interesting choices in this book, and I'm excited to talk to you about it later. But for now, I think I'm just gonna take the rest of the night and listen to this book, edit this video, and start writing again tomorrow. So today was an exception. I'm excited to get back to the baseline. I'll see you tomorrow.